Welcome back to LAVCA 5th grade ELA Read Alouds for Study Island. Today's topic is Narrator's Point of View. Open your Study Island lesson and be ready to listen and follow along. Then you'll be ready to open this topic and complete 10 practice questions. Point of view is the view from which the story is told. Sometimes the author is the narrator, or the person who tells the story. Sometimes one of the characters is the narrator. Examples of point of view are described below. First person is a point of view uses I or we. First person is often used when someone is stating an opinion or sharing a feeling. For example, I jumped for joy when I got a new bike for my birthday. Third person point of view uses he, she, or they. Sometimes it is used when talking about a thing instead of a person. For example, Jamal sang the most beautiful song at the talent show and he won first place. You can now pause this recording and click here to play the movie in your lesson. The speaker or narrator is who tells the story or poem. In many cases, the speaker tells or recalls the events. The speaker shows the action of the characters in the story or poem to the reader. To identify and describe the speaker or narrator, a reader must find out who is telling the story. The speaker is the voice that talks to the reader. He or she is not necessarily the author of a story or poem. It could be a character that the author made up to tell the story. It could also be simply an all-knowing speaker that relates the story to the reader. The narrator as a character. The speaker can be someone in the story who tells the story from his or her point of view. When the narrator is a character in the story, sometimes another character says the speaker's name. The speaker usually uses words like I, me, and we to show that a person from the story is personally experiencing the action. When the author has one of the characters in the story narrate the events, it gives the reader a close connection to the events. The unnamed narrator. Sometimes the narrator won't be named in the stories you read. When this happens, it may be because the story or poem is told from the point of view of someone all-knowing. He or she knows all of the characters' thoughts and actions. The speaker can be part of the story or poem, or the speaker can just tell the story. When the speaker doesn't act or speak to the other characters, the speaker is a voice outside of the story action. He or she usually uses words like he, she, it, and they. You can now pause this recording to click here to play the movie. An author's attitude is the opinion of a writer. The opinion a writer has about a topic or idea. It is what the writer thinks about something. A reader can find out what the writer thinks by looking for opinions while reading. You can now pause this recording to click here and play the movie in your lesson. A reader can find out what a writer thinks by looking for opinions. Most writers choose words that will help the readers know what they think. To find out what the writer thinks about something, look for opinions from the writer. Here are some words and phrases to look for. I think, I feel, I believe, should, best, worst, ought to, and in my opinion. Here's an example of Scottish Terriers. Scottish Terriers are the cutest dogs in the world. I think everyone should own a Scottish Terrier. Some people call them Scotties for short. Scotties are smart animals that learn easily. They are easy to take care of. Some U.S. presidents owned them. If presidents have owned them, then they must be good dogs. That is good enough for me. So question 1 is, which of the following sentences would the writer most likely agree with? A. Scotties love people. B. Scotties are very ugly. C. Scotties make good pets. Or D. Scotties are friendly. And according to the paragraph, it says that if presidents have owned Scotties, then they must be good dogs, and the writer feels Scotties make good pets. The correct answer is C. When reading a passage, it is important to keep the writer's point of view in mind. Everyone has certain biases, opinions, or prejudices. These things affect the meaning and language of an author's writing. Bias refers to something or playing favorites. Is preferring something or playing favorites. The opposite of being biased is objective. A person who is being objective is not influenced by prejudice or bias. Being objective includes the way the person relates to other people. Think about how a family member might describe you. Now think about how your teacher, a friend, or a stranger might describe you. They will have different things to say based on their outlook. For example, your mom or dad might say, "My kid is the smartest kid in the school and the best kid in sports." We must also think about beliefs and ages. For example, a mother might not like a movie because it had too much action and explosions, but her son might love it. If each person were to describe the movie to you, the son would probably use words like exciting and awesome. The mother might say it was disturbing or inappropriate. Think about their ages and outlooks and how they might affect their opinions. People constantly offer their opinions, even when readers might not realize it. Just by describing a scene or an event a certain way, people can affect the way others see things. Can you think of times you might have done this by exaggerating? For example, the test was so unfair. I studied forever and still only got a C. Dad, do I have to go to the dentist? It is so scary there. The machines are big enough to fill our house and the doctor is mean. And I think the toothpaste they use tastes like sand. You can now stop this recording and click here to play the movie.